Good evening. Thanks for joining tonight's TI Technology webinar hosted by Texas Instruments, where tonight we're going to get you ready to go back to school with the TI-Nspire CX technology. My name is Mike Houston. I'm the moderator for this event. I teach algebra and calculus near Pittsburgh, where I use TI technology to make those really tough to teach and tough to learn concepts accessible to all my students. And I'm excited to be joined by our two panelists, Diane Broberg and Jeff McCullough. Diane's been teaching high school math for over 30 years. She served on writing teams for Texas Instruments and has taught many summer workshops. Making math come alive for teachers and keeping students creative is what gets her excited. And outside of math, she's an avid runner, definitely faster than me, baker, and also a newer grandma. So Diane, thanks for joining us tonight.
Glad to be here.
And Jeff co-founded the TI-Nspire super user group with Bryson Perry some years back. He currently teaches Algebra 2 and AP Stats at St. Mary's Episcopal School in Memphis, Tennessee. In 2009, Jeff received the Presidential Award for Excellence in Math and Science Teaching, and he's also authored the second edition of the TI-Nspire for Dummies book, as well as the second edition for the TI-84 for Dummies book. So, Jeff, it's great to have you with us as well. Jeff, you're muted. I know you're saying nice things, but you're muted. There we go.
I'm here. We're good.
All right. Now that you're unmuted, can you talk us through the agenda?
Sure can. So we are so happy to be here. We want to prepare you for day one in your classroom. We have some really good goodies to give you at the end. We're going to take a deep dive into the apps on TI-Nspire, how to use some of those, and just how to navigate your TI-Nspire, from calculators to list and spreadsheets, data statistics, geometry, even show you where the Vernier Data Quest is and the Notes app. We're also going to talk about how to adapt or use a pre-made TI activity, maybe editing it some or even creating sliders. And finally, we're going to end with what can be really good to use in your classroom, which is we have a couple different scavenger hunts to talk about. And then finally, you may be interested in a webinar drawing for a prize at the end.
Thanks, Jeff. And Diane, what can we expect to be able to do by the end of the webinar?
So we're hoping, this is kind of like class, we're hoping at the end of it, you're able to create a new Inspire document and can figure out how you can use the apps and how you can use them during class. We're going to show you how to find pre-made documents from TI that you can use with students to engage them in some mathematical explorations. I use these a lot in my own classroom, but we'll show you how to adapt them and edit them so that you can do what you'd like to do. And then the whole goal really is to help your students begin their journey with the Inspire using what I like to use in class, which is a few scavenger hunts that we've created for you.
Yeah, they're great.
Thanks, Diane. Tonight we're going to be using that chat window, and this is a great time for me to mention that we're looking for your questions. So maybe you're a really novice TI-Nspire user and you're like, wait, what button did you press, or how did you do that? We want those questions, but maybe you've been using the TI-Nspire for years and there's been a question that keeps coming up, and all of a sudden we start talking about the Graphs app and you're like, oh yeah, that's right. This was that question I had. So use us tonight. Use Jeff, use Diane, get those questions asked in that chat window. They'll do their best to get those questions answered live. As a reminder, the session is being recorded and we'll provide a link, the event certificate of attendance, as well as a link for the documents at the end of the webinar. So Jeff, I'm excited. Let's get this started.
Okay.
Hey, wait, before we start, I have to say there's someone in the chat is from Buffalo, says go Bills. I am from upstate New York, and everybody in St. Louis knows that I am a diehard Bills fan. So Buffalo and Livonia person, I grew up in Geneseo. Sorry.
We won't hold that against you, Diane. Won't hold it against you.
Okay. Wait, did you say Livonia, by the way? Is that Michigan?
No, there's Livonia, New York.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up in Livonia, Michigan, so.
Ah.
Okay, so we are so excited to be here. This is a PowerPoint that I believe we are going to give them at the end of the, after we're done cooking, I guess, right? So this first one, if you're new to the Inspire, the students need to know the home key. So when you hit the home key, you see this screen, and you notice the apps in the bottom row. Um, just like your phone has apps, your calculator has apps, right? Um, Diane, do your students use these apps quite a bit?
Well, we go between, we have this dilemma. Some of them really, really like the scratch pad. And I
Yeah.
am, and we talk about the scratch pad in class. And I tell like scratch pad is like throw a piece of paper in the garbage at the end of class. However, we also I like them to use them, especially in AP stats, because that's the only way you're going to get the list and spreadsheet and you're going to get the data and statistics. So there's some
Yeah.
really good things in the documents that we really need.
Yep. I agree. I mean, when you talk about, interacting and have variables, then the apps just really become more valuable than just a scratch pad. So with this PowerPoint that we're going to give you at the end here, you're going to get a link that you're going to get this. But I like students to have, key presses to punch if they need to. So I always like them to start with a new document. So you would choose one, new. And if it prompts you, you just say, no, don't save changes. I never tell them to save changes. And then just add a calculator page is what we're going to start with. So we're starting with the calculator page. And it looks kind of like that. Diane, do you ever have this where students get like 50 pages or so?
I'd like them to, but they really don't get that far. Somewhere they've given it to a friend or something like that, and they end up with a new document.
I mean, sometimes it's like having 100 tabs on your, Google Chrome open. You don't want to have too many tabs open. Some is fine, but 50 or more, oh my goodness, like it's going to slow down your processor, I think. So never a bad idea to just start fresh and do that once in a while when you're working with TI-Nspire.
Hey, one thing I think is cool, Jeff, is this PowerPoint we're going to give them. They could actually use it with their classes if they're introducing a class to the Inspire. This is a
Absolutely.
PowerPoint that they actually could use with their class. They could adapt it as they'd like to.
Yep. So you can see page 1.1 is just a calculator page. And it says page 1.1. And just that's important because what we're going to talk about is how the pages interact with each other and so forth. So it's important. One way to add a new page is to hit the home key again. So you hit the home key and you add a page. So you can actually go down to the apps and add a graphing page there. And then it adds the next page will be a graphing page. So page 1.2 would be a graphing page. And then we have, notice the function F1 is located on page 1.2. So you could type in the function F1. I just typed it in. And so I'm going to press enter. And there it is. It graphs it for us. If you hit tab, it opens it back up. And it opens up to F2. It opens up to the next available function. If you go up a space, so if you hit the up arrow there, it goes back to F1. So you can scroll up and down. I went to F4, F3, F2, going up and down. But if you want to edit that, you always could if you needed to.
Hey, quick question, Jeff. One of the things that my students, well, that we use this for a lot in class is to like look at intersection points, find maxes and min. Could you put something in F2? Can you put a line that might intersect this graph?
Okay, so sure, let's do that. So hit tab. I'm going to say 2x minus 7. So there's a graph. It does intersect. I wasn't sure if it was going to. So there's a couple of different ways of finding intersection points. I'm going to tell you my favorite, even though the students like another way better. And then we'll come back and do it the other way. So my favorite is with geometry. Do you like that one better or do you like the other way?
Geometry is by far my favorite way to do it.
Oh, great mind there. Okay, so geometry, we want to find an intersection point. So that's going to be in points and lines. You had to hit the menu key, then geometry, then points and lines. And we want, of course, intersection point. And if you don't know how to use a command, what I like to do is swipe or no swiping, swipe up to the top left using the touchpad, and it tells you click on the first graph, then click on the second graph. So I'm going to click on the blue graph, F1, and click on the red graph, F2, and it gives me both intersection points at the same time, right? Which is really nice.
This is something I taught my calculus class after they had learned how to do it the other way, where you only get 1 point. And then my calculus class was so excited. They're like, why didn't they teach us this last year?
Yeah, I mean, so the other way, if you hit Control Escape, you can undo what you just did. So I'm hit Control Escape, and I'm going to hit Escape. I'll go back to the menu actually. So the other way that a lot of students like actually is to analyze graph. So you go to Analyze Graph, and of course we want the intersection point. And so this one's kind of different. So it has this kind of moving line. It says lower bound. You want to pick the lower bound to the left of the intersection point you want. You have a choice. You can either swipe to left or right, or type a number. So I'm going to type 1 and press enter, and it jumps to that point. Now you can see that I want to grab a point a little bit to the right of this, so I could swipe over the right or type a number, a value that's bigger than 1 or bigger than probably 2-ish there, probably 3 would be good. And it'll find the intersection point in between those two lower bound and upper bound values. And it highlights that point.
So the thing that's different about this is it's only going to find 1 point at a time.
Correct.
And so you have to do this twice. Hey, we got a good question, Jeff. What if the points are out of the window? So what if your line, instead of, your second intersection point is no longer in this graph?
Okay, that is out of the window now, right? I'm just going to move this. Okay, so I can't see the second intersection point. So how would I do analyze graph? I don't think that's going to work, right?
Let's see.
Let's try it. Okay. Well, you're gonna try some crazy stuff here. I mean,
Why not?
what's gonna happen? So I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna say 3, because I'm pretty sure that second one is bigger than 3. And I'm gonna say 10, even though that's outside the window. Oh my goodness. It worked.
So the really cool thing is it resizes the window for you, and it takes it so that you can actually see it.
That's actually pretty cool.
Right. I think the interesting thing though is many students wouldn't know that there is a second intersection point because they can't see it. So this is one of the things that most students, and what I encourage students to do, is sometimes they zoom in, sometimes they zoom out, sometimes they resize their window. Hey, can you show them really quickly how to resize a window?
So my favorite way is to double click on one of these n values here. So you double click that, and it kind of goes, like highlights it. And so you can type a value. I'm going to type in -5 and hit tab rather than enter. It goes clockwise to the next value. So I'm going to say 10, hit tab. I don't know, 7, hit tab. -5, hit tab. So I can get if I don't like something I did, I can always change it. Hit tab and just change the one you want there. So that's one way of resizing a window. Do you like that way? Is that what you were thinking about?
Well, that's my favorite way, but students still are stuck on the menu way. And I think we do try to teach students to use the menu. So if you use the menu and go to window and zoom and go to window settings, this, for those people who are more used to the 84, I think this is more familiar. And it also reiterates, hey, you can find anything in the menu.
Yeah. Great. And you can also sometimes you can just grab. I know this is one of my favorite ways. If you just kind of hit Control center click and grab, you can actually move it kind of like Google Maps. If it just needs.
That's really good.
I like that. Okay. Let's go to the next page. try something a little funny.
Hey, Jeff, I think you froze there for a second. Diana, I'm not sure if you saw the same thing.
Yeah, I haven't seen, he hasn't turned the page.
Okay. Let's give his internet a minute to catch up. I know he said that there were some pretty big storms rolling through his area.
Memphis has thunderstorms tonight. Several of you, one of you asked about, hey, how can we resize the window? Someone asked about the geometry is not available in the scratch pad. That is true. There are a variety of things that are not available in the scratch pad, which is completely why I try to get students to use documents. The other thing I've had success with students using documents is I have a variety of students that use it in math class in conjunction with like using it in physics or a science class. In math, sometimes we need radians or a certain set of, I want them to round to the nearest tenth, or being a person that teaches AP calculus, they have to round to, 4 decimal places. And we can set those things in a document. So my document can have radians and have a certain decimal place. And then they can create a second document. They can call that document calculus. And then they have a second document that they call physics. And in physics, it's set to degrees and it's set to rounding to 2 decimal places. So that's one of the reasons I have leaned really towards using documents versus using Scratchpad. It's a personal preference. I do argue with students at times about doing that or not doing that.
Yeah, that was kind of my comment, is just trying to teach the students like when should they use Scratchpad versus not. Because I think for the new Nspire user, as soon as you pick up the calculator, if they just want to graph something or calculate something fast, that is like my students' initial go-to reaction. But once we actually start doing things with whatever they're calculating or whatever they're graphing, now all of a sudden I really don't want them using Scratchpad. So I try to kind of get them out of the habit of Scratchpad pretty early on. And then, whenever we're using, I think tonight we're going to use some of those pre-made documents. So that's really the only time that I let them know that I think that's a perfect time. Or anytime they're like, hey, I wish I had a piece of paper and I could just, do these really quick multiplication problems or sketch this graph really quick, then to me, that's a really great time to use Scratchpad. Other than that, that to me is a limited case scenario.
I agree. How's he doing?
He is currently frozen, so I'm working on it.
Okay. Would you like me to, I have everything.
Yeah. Can you share your screen?
Give me just 1 second here. Let me do a quick, let's see here. Okay, let's see how this comes. Let's see if you get to see my email. Okay, he says you're going to stop and I'm going to share.
Looks good. Transferring files.
Yep, I got to see let's see where he stopped.
I think we were doing intersection.
Yep, so we did this one. Oh, wait, we're right here. Okay, I'm going to have to enter a couple things, but let me bring my computer up here, my calculator up here next to us. I am going to, and you can see, I'm going to have to get myself up there for a second. I'm going to put in here x squared. I think it was minus 4x plus 1. Let me change my view. Now you can all see that I have, I would like that. Mike, you got to help me for a second. I got to find my thing that puts it just on the side.
Sorry, if you go down a little bit, right above the calculator, there's that drop down, and you want to change that to keypad and side screen, I think is what you're looking for.
Not really, but that's okay. Here's where we were at. So the next thing we want to do, I'm going to go back to that page Jeff had before. I'll go back and forth for a minute, but Jeff did. Let's go back to home. And he was back, he had a page before. He had a page before that said calculate. So I'm going to put it, mine's in the opposite order right now, but watch what happens. This is kind of cool. My students have learned to really like this. If I'm interested, I want to evaluate that function. I want to know what is F1 of 3. Did I not define my function? Let's see what I put in. Oh, it did not take. I had x squared, I thought here, plus 4x minus 1. So there it is. That's the function Jeff had us, or pretty close to it. So watch what happens when I do this here. If I type in F1, oh, look, it stands up. It stands up, it means it's defined. So if I type in F1 of 3 right now and hit enter, I am going to get my function value. And so one of the cool things about the Nspire, if you use it as a document, not a scratch pad, it will go back and forth between the two, and you can connect the two pages quite seamlessly. Okay. So now it looks like I've lost both of them. That's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted you all to see.
You wanted to shrink down the calculator and just have the handheld.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Handheld only. There you go. I
Yes,
misunderstood.
that is what I was interested in.
Hey, while you're doing that, I'll just bring this up while you're kind of moving things around. If you have the software emulator and you've been using it, sometimes it's nice to be able to kind of write on one side or show something on one side, but still have that emulator calculator on the other. And that's what Diane and Jeff have been doing tonight, is kind of showing the PowerPoint on one side and then shrinking that software down to just the calculator on the other side. And one of, I think, Jeff's favorite things to tell you about is that there's an option right next to there's that drop down that Diane was sort of messing with a minute ago, and there's a box that you can check called
Right
always.
here.
Yep.
That's the one I wanted, the always in front.
Yep, that is just going to plaster that. No matter what else you change on your screen, that's always going to be front and center. So it's kind of a nice thing to know and have.
The next thing, so I want you to, we're going to look at the next app. So we're going to look at list and spreadsheet. And so if your home key again, and now students sometimes, so we can navigate down to it. Okay. If we use our cursor, we can get over here to the list and spreadsheet. That's how my students do it. My students, do you notice when Jeff did it, he used his down arrows. My students do not do that. My students hover over with their touchpad and they get there. So the first thing I want you to do is we are going to put a list in here. And so we are going to, first of all, to use it just like you have to in Excel, we're going to give it a name. And if we get a name, I'm going to call it test. If we give it a name, then all of a sudden it's an active variable. And if it's an active variable, we can use it in lots of places. So let's see what the data we have to enter. Here's our data. I'm going to hit, I'm going to type in here, I'll type 72 and 75, 76, 88, and 99. Okay. And so then we're going to put our data in over here in the next one. Okay. So now our goal is, what can we do with this? So a couple things we could do it. We can go back to the pages we had before. Remember, we had something on page, we had a calculator page. So let's go back to our calculator page. Again, there's two ways to do this. I learned a long time ago to hit control and my left arrow. And that's how I go page to page. Students, because of they're using the Nspire CX, they can just go up to the top again using their cursor, and they can hit, for you guys, it's page 1.1. For me, it's page 1.2. And maybe I want to find the mean. Pretty cool here. Students can do this a couple different ways. They can type the word mean, which I kind of like, because watch what happens when I hit that end. It stands up, which means it's defined. So now we're going to define, I want to find the mean of that test. So I'm going to put my parentheses in there, but now instead of typing the word test, I'm going to hit the variables key. And notice I have two variables. I have F1, which was my function, and I have the test. I'm going to go down to test, and I'm going to hit enter. And look at that, I got my mean to be 72. Now, there is the possibility, like if I go back to this page 1.3, I could have also done the exact same thing over here in the list. I could have typed an equal sign and do the same thing. I could type the mean, notice it stands up. I could put a parentheses and I can click my variables and get the test here also. So if you're in, well, did it show up in there? There's test and we hit enter and it gives us our 82 also. What else do we like to do with data? You're all saying we like to graph it. Can I make the calculator bigger? Let's see what happens. Woo. Nope, not that one. It's not letting me drag it down. I don't think we're gonna like this. Nope. I think I want the handheld only. I apologize. Yeah. Yeah. You notice I keep taking my glasses off of you. So for those of us who need bifocals and everything else, I take my glasses on and off. Zooming my screen, I don't think will work because of my two things side by side. So let's look a minute. Let's see where our next thing is. I want to graph this data. So to graph this data, we are going to use, you're going to go home again. And you're going to go home again. This time we want to use data and statistics. So data and statistics is our next one over. Notice students always find this interesting. They're like, Mrs. Broberg, why are there, like, why does it look like this? It's even better yet when there's like 1,000 points on there and they think it's graphed, where in actuality, it's not graphed. So what we are going to do is we're going to do exactly what it says. It says click on the bottom. So let's click and add our variable test. That's a pretty nice dot plot. Although it's dot plots from my standpoint, in this case, is not extremely helpful. So let's change this. To change any graph from one to another, we're going to click menu. And when we click menu, you notice it says plot type. And we're going to take plot type and we are going to try to do a box plot. Oh, a statistic teachers are jumping, even Algebra 1 teachers. Like, you guys all have to teach box plots now.
Oh.
Like, what a cool way to get a box plot. So now let's hover. Let's see what happens. Like, again, pretty cool. Notice we always want that 5-number summary. There's a couple ways to get it, but my favorite way to get it is right here. Look, we have 72. That must be our minimum. Look, and we go over. Oh, it says Q1. It tells us it uses the word median. Pretty cool. It uses Q3. And there we get our maximum. So you can get your 5-number summary by simply hovering over the points.
You know what I wish? I wish we could see a dot plot and a box plot at the same time, Diane. Would that be
well,
nice?
Let's try it. Yeah, I think we can do it. So a couple ways to do this. The first thing I'm going to do is, well, I'm going to add a page, but I'm going to do it for you guys a different way. I am a control, and notice right above the word doc, it says plus page. I'm going to add a page this way. It's a different way to do it. And I'm going to add this data and statistics page. And Jeff said he would like a
dot plot.
Dot plot. Well, there it is. But now he says he wants them both on the same page. I think what can happen, you remember what it is, Jeff?
Yeah, so go back to the previous page.
Okay, right. So I'm on page 1.4.
So I think it's Control-4 will merge 2 pages together. Merge that page with the next page together. Control-4? Oh my goodness.
So that's pretty cool, but what I want students to see, I like students to see them on top of each other because then you can see the relationship in terms of how data is skewed. Check this out. If I click, I got to click my dot key. I got to go to page layout. And if we go down to select layout, use your over arrow. Notice here's my bifocals. Looks like I want layout number 3. and it puts them over top each other. Like, that's pretty cool for students to see, and notice it's the exact same scale. So they can see that our Q3 is not a data point.
Diane, can you grab the bottom right of your calculator and just drag it down a little bit?
I
Yeah,
couldn't get it. It won't do it for me.
Yeah, if you get it right in the corner. Yeah, you had it. Oh, go down, down,
I got the wide one.
go down a little.
There it
There
is.
it is. It's
Oh,
so much better. Yeah, yeah.
So thanks for coming back, Jeff. We've been
Yeah,
trying to
sorry
do
about
that.
No, that's really neat because are the scales exactly the same there?
They are.
Oh, I like that. I
That
like
is
that a
really
lot.
good.
Because you can
Yep.
see kind of where with the box plot, you don't know where the data is, but now you can kind of see where the data is.
Right. And that's one of the things that students like, both in Algebra 1 and statistics, they have a hard time with that. They have a hard time that 93.5 Q3 is not a data point. And this allows them to see it really pretty
Oh,
nicely.
yeah, yeah. That's an excellent point. I really like that.
Okay. So we have played with a few of these apps. We're going to do something else to show you how the difference between a problem and a page. So this time I'm going to insert something. I'm going to do it how I did the last one. And I am going to click doc.
Yeah.
And this time I'm going to insert, but notice I have two things. I can insert a problem or a page. They are different. I'm going to insert a problem this time. And what
Just
do you
go to
want on my,
graph or something.
what do you want on my problem? A graph?
Sure.
Okay. Notice
So wait, F1 doesn't have a function there.
it is no longer defined because everything connected to a problem is in that 1.4. So if I go back to 1.4, and if I instead add a page this way and I add a graph just like we just did, notice F1 is there.
Oh,
But
yeah.
if I go over, all of a sudden now I'm in a new problem. I have new variables. Everything that's connected to this problem is now connected here.
So you've just started fresh, but you're still in the same document.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
So
Because,
those are
sometimes in stats, there's certain times where I like to use the same, like expect and what are the two things we use with our two? Expect is one of them, expected, and then anyway, we always use the same like titles for the lists.
Oh, yes.
And then now we can just use the same titles every time and just start a new problem.
Yes. Expected versus observed.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Where I like this is, I'm teaching BC calculus this year. It's not a course I always teach, but that's my this year class. And so with my students, like when we do like AP problems, we'll put one problem in problem 1, we'll put our new problem in problem 2 so that we have our variables that are associated with it.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
So I think
And
it's a
just
pretty
get 'em
good
in the habit.
organization.
So this document, it teaches them skills that they could use really nicely in the classroom, like you're saying, so that they could keep their work separate because it's nice to be able to look back at your work after you're done with your homework.
Yes.
If you need to.
Yeah. I also teach an Algebra 1 class, and in my Algebra 1 class, we do that. I try to have them do problems separately, because if not, sometimes with an assignment, they have like 16 different functions, and to have them all in F1 through 16, they can't find them.
Yeah.
Okay. We talked about that. There's no new problems. Okay, so let's do this one. We haven't yet talked about the geometry app. So
Okay.
I'm going to go back to here. I'm going to do it Jeff's original way. I'm going to go back to the home, and I'm going to
You want to try it a
geometry.
new way? Oh, well, okay.
Okay, which way you want? Which way this time?
Go back to number 4, get the current page. Number 4 is current. So if you're a computer person and you memorize shortcuts, Control I is insert. Just try it. Like if you're super cool, Control I does an insert there.
I didn't
You
actually
gotta be
know
cool.
that.
You got to have a certain level of coolness to know. Like Control Z works. Anything like works on a computer works on here.
Yeah, I like the Control Z. I like the Control C. I
Yeah.
control do, undo, and do.
So Control I will insert a new page.
Okay,
So
so
this
this
is
is
a
a
geometry
geometry page.
page.
So notice with this geometry page, we are going to try to put a shape in. So notice the cool thing, we talk about this being menu driven. And this is where you see it. Notice this menu is very different than the one that we had when we were graphing. So this one, I am going to go to, I would like to do a shape. I would like to do a triangle. And like Jeff said before, if you're not sure, what does it say? Click 3 vertices. So let's do it. 1, 2, 3, and I have a triangle. That's
Wait, can
pretty
you undo
simple.
that for a second?
Oh,
Control Z it.
yes. Control and Z.
Okay, now click once,
Okay.
type the letter A.
Oh,
Click twice, type the letter B, and click a third time and type the letter C.
what did I do wrong?
Do that
Did I
one
move
B,
it?
I guess.
What?
Tell that one B.
I have AB already.
Oh, you
Can I
had,
do a B
oh,
now?
you didn't
Oh, there
click.
it is.
You got to click, I don't know, you had to click, you can always change it if you needed to, but that's the idea of it. If you do it one at a time, you can do that. Like click A, click B, click C.
Ah, okay. I didn't click in between.
Yeah.
But now we have point AB, which is not a bad point. So
Can you measure one of those angles?
sure. Menu, measurement. This is also
Okay.
really, really good. Look what the things you can measure. That's pretty good math. And what I really like
Oh,
about
yeah.
angle is when I measure an angle, it tells me, now look, it tells me I have to click 3 points. So if I just click B, it's not measuring anything.
Right.
So I need to click B,
And
go
then
down
the
to my point
vertex,
AB.
which is evidently point
Yeah,
AB.
yeah. And notice where it puts the number. Okay, I'm going to click escape. My number's stuck down here, but I can then pick it up and move it, and I can drop it in there. Notice when we did it, I think, which is really cool math-wise, is it put it where point A was.
Is it dynamic? So if you moved point B, would it change the angle? Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah. So you can
Okay.
do a lot of explorations on this if you're a geometry teacher, if you needed to.
Yeah, this is one of the things where if you find, like, either you can do it yourself or you can find a pre-made document that will help you, like,
Yeah.
show that this sum of the measures of the angles of a triangle is 180.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can investigate that a little bit. Okay, we only can do a little bit with this here, but just so you see one of the other apps, if we go back, oh, I'm going to do it Jeff's cool way. Control and I. And I'm going to do a veneer data quest.
Okay.
If I had a temperature probe, or if I had a motion detector, or if I had any of the other probes that were attached to either my computer or my handheld right now, they would automatically appear. That's really cool because it knows exactly what I have and it will work from there. Anything else with that, Jeff?
No, I mean, it's actually, if you have I think if you plug in the temperature probe, it automatically brings up that page, if I remember right.
It does.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it works pretty intuitively.
Yep. And it will be, and you'll see that it's temperature right away. It will automatically tell you that.
Yeah. And then the notes page, we don't use a ton, but sometimes in the pre-made you see it. So add a notes page. Would you do that?
Sure. I'm still doing Jeff's cool way, so I remember this. I'm pretty excited about that. I didn't know that.
Well, you learn new things.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a notes page, kind of like Microsoft Word or something, I guess, but I don't think it has spell check, but it does have a neat feature. How do you do a math box? How do you do it?
I'll be honest with you, Jeff, I don't use notes pages.
So if you want, you can go through the menu to get a math box, or you can hit
Oh.
Control M if you wanted to.
Okay, so if I'm doing it this way, I'm going to insert though. I'm
Insert
going to
a math
insert, hey,
box.
look
And
at
notice it
all of you.
says Control M off to the right there.
Yeah. And so I do like this next part. This is one of my favorite features of the calculator. I usually do it, you can do it from this little menu here that's right next to the book. If you click on that, it gives you this template.
Yeah, the
Notice
template
all the
key.
really cool things. So I'm going to insert a fraction. I'm going to do 1. We'll do it Jeff's question 1/2, and then I'm going to hit plus. The other way to get a fraction key, notice above the division sign, control and division will give you a fraction key also. That's really cool. There is none of this issue with, did I put the right parentheses in? So cool.
Yeah.
Now if I hit enter, I get 5, 6.
So it actually does calculator stuff on a notes page if you insert a math box.
Yeah. So
That's
how
good.
do you use this?
Well, pre-made documents use this sometimes to have values that are changing on the graph that they'll automatically change in the math box, if that makes sense. So if you
Yeah.
have 2 pages interacting with each other, that's the advantage of this. We don't really use this, you know, just to display it like this. It's more when you have a graph and you're moving a point and the angle's changing, and you could reference that angle there and use it, store it, that sort of thing. Some of the pre-made documents use that.
Okay. So how I have always used a notes page are compatible with Microsoft Word. And sometimes when I'm creating documents that I want students to be able to read some directions, I use a notes page to put the directions in. Sometimes I've already typed them in Word and I cut and paste them into here and I give students directions. It's how I create title pages and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we did a bunch of that. Oh, this is really cool. So one of the things, like students always ask me, like, I have a page that I don't know what to do with and I want to get rid of it. How do I delete a page? Really cool. If you hit control and your up arrow, you get the thumbnails. This is everything that I have done with you tonight. They're all the pages. And so if all of a sudden you're like, well, I really didn't want this page. So if you scroll up to this page and I get right there, I can hit
Yeah.
delete. And if I hit the delete key, it's gone. The other cool thing is, like, let's say I'm in problem number 6 and I'm taking my AP Calc exam and I need to be in problem number 1 because I'm going back to it. I can just go back to problem number 1, go to where I
yeah.
am, click enter, and it goes back to exactly where I was before. So it's a really quick way to navigate through a document that has more than one problem, more than one page. It allows you to delete some things. You can get lots of places, lots of different ways.
Yeah. And if you
So-
just have 10 graph pages, you need to get rid of 9 of them.
Yes.
Students like to delete pages. It's kind of fun.
Oh, they do. And so we could go to any one of these pages and we could go here and we could just hit delete and it's gone. Hey, wait, if I hit Control Z, will it come back?
It will.
Oh, look at that. So when kids screw up and delete the wrong page, like, or when I screw up and delete the wrong page.
I think if you want to re-delete it, you can hit Control Y and it'll
Control Y. I don't think I got
undo,
control.
redo.
Control Y, yep, is redo. Oh, but
Yeah.
got rid of it again.
Yeah.
Okay. Think of all the fun we could have doing that one. So
You are easily entertained, Diane. You must,
now you know how exciting my life is some days. Okay, so we want to show you how to work with a pre-made document. Now you're going to have to give me a second because this is one of the other things. Like Jeff and I had practiced, he had things queued up and I did not. So I'm going to have to add right now. Can you still see my screen, Jeff? That is.
Yes.
So I'm going to go to education.ti.com. You notice I must use it a lot because it's the first thing that comes up. So I am going to now go to activities and I'm going to go to Math-Nspire. And I chose an activity that I wanted you guys to see. I chose it from Algebra 1. And I think I was looking at functions and relations. And I wanted to explore transformations. This is actually one of my kind of favorite activities. I hope this is my one. Yes, it is. It's not the one I really wanted, but we'll be okay with it. So exploring transformations, notice a few things. On the side here, it gives you teacher notes. I always tell teachers that this is where if you're going to have a sub or you don't know the math really well, it'll give you teacher notes with all questions. It gives you a student activity. It gives you the document for a student activity. I always use the doc because one thing I have learned is my students like one piece of paper. If it has a staple in the corner, they think it's too much work to do. So I always take my documents and I make it so it's 2 pages. So sometimes I take these and shorten them. The third thing, it does have it as a PDF, but it also has this TNS document. And so this TNX document I just downloaded, and oh, it's going to open in my other one. My default setting is to open it with my CAS.
It's funny that the default is the other one.
Yeah. It might, let's see, where did I go? Where did it go? No?
Probably takes a minute to open.
Yeah, I don't have patience for it though.
I understand. You can just go to a page and go file. If you
Oh,
downloaded
wait,
it.
here it is. Here it is. It's in conflict with another, but here it is. Okay. So one thing I have done with I'm going to make this big for a minute. I do believe, so that you can all see it. This is what a pre-made document looks like. And so with it, notice it does come with a handout. And so if I'm going to navigate with it, I have 2 ways to do this. To turn my page, I can do control and my right arrow, and it will turn my page. And I got to kind of sometimes, this one I was going to have to figure out what my document was doing. It's not the one I originally planned to do with you tonight. Jeff, do you know this one? I don't.
Well, I mean, it looks like it's looking at transformations from a graphical and like a table at the same time, which is good to have multiple representations, right? So it's stretching the Y value by a factor of 3. So all the Y values are 3 times as big as the other Y values there.
Yeah, I wonder if I can change this.
I think you could.
Let's see if I can change it to 2. Oh, look at that. Okay. I like that because like sometimes, hey, it all depends what I'm doing. Oh, I wonder if I could change the square root function. This is one of the things that I do with a pre-made document. I figure out what I'm teaching and I try to adapt it to be what I would like it to be. And that is one of for me, the really, really good uses of the pre-made documents for with TI is they're easily adaptable for what I'm going to teach on any certain day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, were you thinking maybe do a slider? Because sometimes
That's
when
what
I
I
teach
was hoping to.
transformations, so add a new graphs page. Let's just wreck this thing for a minute. So add a new graphs page.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to do it the old way. I'm going to hit control and add a page just so you all remember all the way to do it. And I'm going to add a graphs page. Okay, what do you want me to do?
So maybe like, you want to do linear or quadratic?
Let's do a linear.
Okay, so how about M times X plus B? It's very important you put the time sign in there. Do not say MX plus B because it'll think MX is one variable there.
Okay. Look at that, all of you. It says create a slider. Let's see what it says. What it's going to do for us. So these sliders, we could do things with them. Can we play with them? Should we change them, Jeff, so they're smaller?
First, let's just play with them. See what happens. Okay. So how do you play with it? So what could you do? You could grab, first you're moving them.
Right, so I do have, I'm going to escape for a minute.
Okay, so that one you can kind of grab. So you're just kind of like, you grabbed it and you're moving it. Can you click on the variable, like the 1? No, like the 1?
Yeah.
Can you change it?
What do you want me to change it to?
6. Oh, it lets you, by the way. I wasn't sure because it says 5 to -5.
Yeah. But notice the slider is no longer there.
Yeah, that's funny. I didn't know what would happen. Sorry, I had you try something. I didn't know what was going to happen.
That's okay. But notice we also can do 2/3.
Oh.
So we can put all sorts of values in there. And for many of you who teach this, like we all teach transformations. And this is a really cool way to teach transformations. We can show students like what effect does changing M have? This could be, you know, So my students love to play with this. So they would like just sit here and do this, for a long time. And I'd be like, okay, what does M do? And they would come up with it. My goal is that they come up with the statement that, well, hey, if M is positive, it's going uphill. And if M is negative, it's going to go downhill.
Can you get to the settings there? I'd like to be able to reset that. So right click on so put your cursor in the top right. Oh, how'd you do that?
I just right clicked.
Control menu on the handheld is right click.
Yep.
Go to settings. So you can change the settings here, like the value, your starting value could be 0 if you wanted to.
So let's do that. Let's make our starting value 0. We are min and we are max. Now here's my pet peeve. My pet peeve is that we do everything in integers. And I think that teaches students that they can't have fractions, they can't have decimals. So I don't ever leave the automatic.
Okay.
I always change it and I make it something. So in this case, it might be a bad number to make it, but I will make it 0.1.
1/4.
I'll do 0.2.
0.25.
0.25, okay.
Now go, you can make it horizontal. What's it look like vertical? Let's make it vertical.
Okay.
And scroll down a little further. Can you minimize it there?
I can.
Okay.
And click OK.
Yeah. Oh, it has a totally different look now.
And so now it looks like, now if students click on the up arrow, it's going to go up. Notice it tells me what M is each time.
I really want you to put the grid on. Can you do that for me?
Sure.
Hit menu. Probably under view, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Or there.
Grid. Here's our
Show
choices.
a line grid.
You want a line grid?
Yeah. So I like using this with slope. I think it just hits better.
Yep, because students can actually figure out like what is actually the slope when they look at it. So like they figured out my slope is negative, 0.75. So maybe it's negative 3/4. And if you look, hey, I'm going down 3/4 is my next quote. Really nice point.
Yeah. And then you can, you can do the same thing with the other sliders. So I like the idea of using sliders. I think we're getting towards the end of time. Can you show the scavenger hunts that we're going to give out?
Yep.
Yep.
Let me minimize this.
Because scavenger hunts are really fun in the classroom. I mean, the students get into it. They're like, especially this first week, it's just fun that they'll figure out stuff you wouldn't think they'd be able to figure out. It's my experience.
So there's 3 of them that I have here, Jeff, and I'm going to show everyone the 3 of them.
This you make that a little bigger.
Yep. Is that better?
Yeah.
So this is the just general one. This allows them to navigate some pages. It allows them to evaluate some things. This is one I often do with just like I would do this one with my Algebra 1 class. Those type of classes. I created another one because my school is pre-K through 12. And so my middle school students needed something because we introduce this to our middle schoolers. They all have an Nspire. So this is the one we do with the middle schoolers. And we thought that this was a pretty good one for them. It's a little bit smaller. Middle schoolers can't do quite as, sometimes get frustrated with things if there's too many pages to do. So this is the one we did for middle school. And then because I'm department chair, I've taught lots of classes. I also do pre-calc. And so this is the pre-calc version of it. This is the one I did with my class. Like this was partway through the year, but that things that they should be able to do, especially for those of you who might teach AP pre-calc. These are all skills your AP pre-calc students need before they walk into that test.
Wow. Wait, did you just make this special for us or did you have it from something else?
No, I had from something else.
Okay. Still, that's nice. I like that.
But those are 3 different versions. I made this for a workshop that I did on AP pre-calc in terms of calculator skills that every student needed to have walking into AP pre-calc.
That's really neat. Yeah.
So we will share all 3 of these with you. Mike will tell you how you're going to be able to get them. This along with this PowerPoint so that you can. Our goal is that you use this. So if you can use it with your teachers at school to help them if they need help, if you can use it with your students, please do it. Like this is our hope, is that you can do some of these things with them.
Yeah, I mean, because students don't, I think you have to teach them how to navigate, but this, I mean, this is really fun to do. It's really fun to do with students. I mean, to have them do the scavenger hunt is so fun.
Yep. Sometimes I find we have one student who knows how to do one thing and then he's like the expert. That was
Yes.
especially true with the middle schoolers. So, let me stop sharing, and Mike, I think we can pass it back to you.
Yep, I am ready. All right, as we wrap things up tonight, we are giving away to one lucky winner a TI graphing calculator of their choice, and tonight's lucky winner is Alan Wong. So, Alan, congratulations. We'll be in touch over email next couple days to get you some additional information.
And you also tell them, Mike, how you will send out the documents for them.
Yes, absolutely. That's a great point, Diane. Thank you so much. So the documents that Diane just showed you, the scavenger hunt, as well as the PowerPoint that Jeff and Diane made for tonight, I'm going to put all those together in the follow-up documents. So the link that you're going to possibly click tonight will actually not have all of those in it, but I will get those to you, and you'll automatically get a follow-up email in a couple days. And that follow-up email will be really important because that will contain all the links you need, like the certificate, the updated documents with all the good stuff that I think you want, as well as a link to the recording so you can watch this at your own pace. And so as far as getting a certificate of attendance, go ahead and click the link in the chat window. And again, you can click the documents link, but I think you'll be a little more excited in a day or two whenever we send out that follow-up email, and you'll get all the really good stuff. And if you're watching this on demand, copy that link into your favorite browser to receive your certificate. If you have any questions for us, maybe there was a question that got answered tonight that we didn't have a chance to answer, give us a call, 1-800-TI-CARES or TI-CARES@TI.com. We'd love to hear from you. Last but not least, when you leave the webinar, you'll automatically get a follow-up survey here, and the survey is really important to us. It helps us plan what we're going to give to you in the coming months for PD. So feel free to let us know if there's something that we haven't gotten to you yet, and you're like, man, I really want to see this. We would love to hear from you. So please share your thoughts in that post-webinar survey. Huge thanks to Diane and Jeff for everything they put together and shared tonight. I'm excited about these documents, and we will get those updated really soon for all of you. Thanks for joining us tonight, and we hope to see you back online next week. Have a great night.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.